I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM Theory Grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to crack on with the last question of the 2019 practice paper S. So if you turn to the back of the book to page 18, we can look at that together. And I know I always say this and I know I'm repeating myself, but do have a go of this on your own first of all, just to test yourself. You'll learn more thoroughly that way. Doesn't matter if you make mistakes, you learn better by making mistakes. You learn through those mistakes. Write in pencil, and then you can just erase it and have another go. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and now we'll work through this together. So the questions are relating back to this little extract here. And so our first question asks us to give the time name of the shortest note in the melody. So let's look what the shortest note is. So we have quavers, eighth notes. And then here we have semiquavers, 16th notes. They are worth a quarter of a beat, whereas quavers are half of a beat. So a semiquaver, or depending what terminology you use, you could say 16th note. Either of those is fine. Depends what you're used to using. 16th note. Either of those will answer just fine. And now we're asked to note in which bar is the player told to pause or hold on to a note. So we're looking for a pause sign, and it's this one here. The Italian term is fermata. It's a pause sign. It just means hold it for longer than the value of 3 beats here. Just let it linger. So a bit of an arty pause to finish there. So bar 8. There we go. Now then, we're told that the melody is in the key of G major, and we're asked to name the degree of the scale of the first note in bar 4, marked with this little arrow. So we can go about this two ways. We can just count up from G. We're in treble clef, so we find the G, every good, and count. Now always count G as 1. Your first note is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, line, space, line, space, line. So we know that it's a fifth. But just to be sure that you've not forgotten to count that first note as 1, what you can do to double check yourself, just write out the scale pattern. I know it's F sharps, but your key signature will deal with that. If you find that tricky, just imagine a piano keyboard, just sketch one out quickly. It doesn't have to be a work of art. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here we can see that we are on note D, every good boy deserves. And we can see that D is the fifth, so that's correct. Now we're asked to give the number of a bar that contains all the notes of the tonic triad of G major. So before we go looking, let's find out what we're actually looking for. A tonic triad is built of the first, the third, and the fifth. We've already done a bit of the thinking here. The first is G, of course, because we're in G major. The third is B, and the fifth is D. So we're looking for a bar that contains a G, a B, and a D. It may not necessarily be in that order. So let's have a look. So we have a G and a B, a G but no D, so that won't do. We have a D but nothing else. G and a B. That won't do. We have a D, so it's still not there yet. So we have a G, a D, and a B. So there we go, bar 5 answers that. Let's see if there's another option as well. So E, C, no. So we have a D, a B, an A and a G. So actually bar 7 does contain all of the notes as well. So either bar 5 or bar 7. So is it true or is it false that the 4, this bottom number, means crotchet beats or quarter note beats? That's true. And that makes sense because you can see that quarter notes has divided into 4. Think of your fractions. Quarters, halves, whole. So that's how that works out. So the bottom number always tells us what type of beat, and number 4 represents crotchet beats or quarter note beats. And then for the final part of this question 9, we're just given 10 marks at the end of the paper to purely copy out the music. So this is where it's really important you've got a sharp pencil. That's why I always use a mechanical pencil, just so it stays sharp. You will need a ruler and an eraser because you don't want to lose any marks just for being a little bit untidy. And they even give us a checklist of what to watch out we don't forget anything. So just make sure you copy the correct bit of music so we don't risk losing any marks. So we're copying out from the start of bar 1 to the end of bar 4. So basically we're just copying out this first line of music. And so what I'm going to do, and I do recommend this, is I'm just going to align my bars to theirs, and I'm going to align all of the notes to theirs so I don't get lost and lose track on which one I'm on, and then I know I'm not going to run out of space and so on. I'll space it exactly as they've done. So you can do this in any order you like. I prefer to sort of get all the nuts and bolts down first, get the key signature, the time signature, and then I'm just going to get the note heads in place. Just put the blobs down just so I know everything's going to be nicely set out before I get too involved in the details. And I'm keeping reasonably in track with theirs. There we go. Don't forget the last note, it's got to go to the very end of the bar. So now I shall put the stems in, copying theirs. By all means use a ruler, I shall definitely do so here. Anything just to keep it neat and tidy. And now we're on to all the other little bits and bobs. So we've done the key signature, we've done the clef, we've done the time signature, we need the tempo mark in allegretto, which means fairly quickly. We have mezzo piano, moderately quiet, cantabile, just let's squeeze every drop of revision out of this. Cantabile means in a singing style. And now we need to add any sort of articulation markings. So we've not got any slurs, but we've got these staccato markings here. These are all detached. And then we have a crescendo, gradually getting louder. To mezzo forte, moderately loud, and then it's going to keep on getting louder from there on in. So let's just check through that. And I do believe that's everything done. So that's the end of that question. That's the exam paper completed, and actually that's the end of the complete book of exam papers as well. I do hope that's helpful to you. If you can give me a like and subscribe to my channel to keep updated, that would be super. I hope that you've enjoyed working through these. They're a great revision aid, and if you can enjoy it, so much the better. I've certainly enjoyed working through it with you. If you can visit sharonbill.com, do make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.